Did you know that nearly 40% of severe GMP observations in 2025 were linked to a single failure? Contamination control. But, the game just changed. The Indian Pharmaceutical Alliance has officially dropped its February 2026 guidance, and it's not just an update, it's a total overhaul. If you're still relying on end product testing to catch microbes, you're already behind the curve. Today, we're doing a deep dive into the 2026 IPA best practices. We'll look at the new mandate for a holistic strategy, why FMEA is now your most important tool, and how this aligns with the global EU GMP Annex 1. Welcome back to Lytics, where we break down the complex world of pharmaceutical data and regulations. I'm your host, and in the world of 2026 automation, staying compliant means staying ahead. The new IPA document, Prevention of Contamination in Pharmaceutical Manufacturing, marks a shift from reactive to proactive. It's about building quality into the design, not just testing for it at the end. Let's get into the technicals. The core of the 2026 guidance is the Contamination Control Strategy, or CCS. For an international audience, this is critical because it finally harmonizes Indian standards with the EU GMP Annex 1. A holistic CCS isn't just a folder of SOPs. It's a living document that tracks the product journey from raw material intake to final packaging. The IPA now requires process mapping, identifying every single contamination critical control point. Unidirectional flow. If your personnel and materials are crossing paths in 2026, you're looking at an automatic red flag. Utility validation. We're seeing a massive focus on WFI and pure steam systems. No more habit-based cleaning. It must be data-driven. So, here is where the deep dive really gets real. The IPA is now pushing failure mode and effects analysis as the gold standard when it comes to gap identification. In the 2026 framework, you aren't just checking if a machine might fail, you're actually looking at the impact of that failure on sterility. Case study time. The guidance specifically highlights legacy facilities. If you're running a brownfield site, the IPA recommends something called a gradient study. This basically evaluates how efficient your existing controls are when you compare them to modern bioburden limits. So let's talk about isolators versus RABs. The guidance, really heavily favors restricted access barrier systems. And why is that? Well, honestly, it's because the biggest contamination source in any lab is still people. Interestingly, the document also clarifies the usage of its namesake, isopropyl alcohol. For sterile environments, the 2026 standards mandate only pharmacopeal-grade IPA. It has to be sterile filtered and, most importantly, applied with validated contact times. Globally, this alignment is actually a huge win for Indian exporters. By following these 2026 IPA best practices, you're essentially meeting the requirements for PICS and the EMA at the same time. The 2026 regulatory landscape is moving faster than ever. If your team hasn't started their CCS gap analysis yet, well, the clock is ticking. We've put together a summary checklist based on this new IPA guidance, and you can find the link in the description below. If this deep dive helped you understand the 2026 shift, hit that like button and subscribe to Lytics. We're dedicated to keeping you at the forefront of pharma excellence. So, what's your biggest challenge with the new CCS requirements? Let's discuss it in the comments. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time, stay compliant.